When a teenager walks onto a pitch wearing the Blaugrana for the first time and plays like he belongs there, the world leans in. Roony Bardghji did exactly that during Barcelona's pre-season. Flashes of pace, fearless runs down the right, and a calm penalty that spoke of a player ready for a bigger stage. The problem isn't his ability, it's a ledger. As the summer sun burned off, Barcelona's transfer business produced a new problem. The club's wage cap limits and registration priorities have left Bardghji without a guaranteed place on paper, even as the coach eyes him on the field. That paradox, a player welcomed by team talk and training but blocked by bureaucracy, has blown up into a silent crisis for the club and the player. The technical wrinkle is blunt. La Liga controls the club's spending limit and, in recent seasons, Barcelona has been hustling to make its sums add up. League recommendations and the club's internal priority list determine which signings get the scarce first-team slot. In Bardghji's case, La Liga urged that he be registered with the first team rather than with Barça Athletic, a move that sounds like a compliment if you do the math. Placing him on the senior roster eats into Barcelona's wage cap in ways that the reserve list would not have. And the club already has other players ahead of Bardghji in that queue. That contradiction, endorsed by the league but painful for Barca's balance sheet, is why a promising Swedish winger could find his debut delayed. The options are not neat. Barca could try to push him to Barça Athletic, but relegation and competitive level mean the player himself would see that as a development step backward. He's a Champions League experienced teenager who isn't likely to accept stagnation in Spain's fourth tier. A loan looks sensible in principle. Get him minutes, keep him sharp, but Spanish Federation practice has shown a painful precedent. Players who are unregistered can't simply be loaned or transferred away until their federative license exists. When similar registration disputes hit Dani Olmo and Pau Victor earlier, Barcelona found itself hemmed in, unable to move them freely until the paperwork gap closed. That regulatory lock is a real trap. It removes the simplest temporary fix and makes the club's accounting choices decisive. Inside the club, there is urgency and a public show of confidence. Sporting officials and sporting director voices insist they want Bardghji in the squad and are working to prioritise registrations, statements meant to reassure fans and the coach. Yet priorities and deadlines are concrete. Deportivo choices about which salaries to fit under the cap create a pecking order, and some names jump ahead. Deco and others have publicly said the club is pushing to sort these registrations before the window closes, but that still leaves only a narrow runway to balance books, shift amortizations, or generate sale proceeds. If no quick accounting solution appears, Barcelona may be forced into tough choices: a late sale of a fringe player, a creative financing mechanism, or a last-minute compromise that keeps Bardghji sidelined. For Bardghji, the human cost is immediate. Oh, he came with expectations to be Lamine Yamal's viable alternative on the flank, to bring energy and depth, and the longer he waits, the more momentum he loses. For Hansi Flick, the dilemma is managerial as much as financial. Build now with a fresh talent, or postpone and hope injuries, or create opportunities later. For the fans, the drama is almost cruel. A signing celebrated in July, applauded in training, then held back not by injury or form, but by balance sheet arithmetic. There are scenarios that will end happily: a late registration once a sale space is found, a temporary La Liga concession, or swift internal reshuffling that frees cap. But there's an equally plausible sobering outcome: weeks of inactivity that stunt growth and force a loan or swap that neither the player nor club prefers. Right now, the clock is part of the story. The transfer window and La Liga's deadlines turn paperwork into pressure, and a career moment for a young winger has been turned into a ledger problem that only accountants, regulators, and a handful of executives can truly solve. Fans should watch the next days closely. The result will tell us whether Barcelona's promise to its young signings is driven by football or the bottom line.